Question of the week. Another week of new question. All right, so how did we meet and what led to the creation of NuWave and wellness? What was, from your perspective, like first time we met? You go ahead.
You want a real answer?
Only the real.
Yeah, the first day, man, that was a very interesting day because
it was.
As a black man, I'm naturally seeing how many of us are going to be in class. So it's like 90 something of us in the class, and I think there's about six or seven of us, right?
Yeah.
And one particularly stood out, that was you. And the reason being is you came dressed to the nines.
And I stutter.
But no, you came dressed to the nines, had the shirt and tie, had the slacks, had the dress shoes, looking too clean.
The side game was on point.
Yes, sir. So that's what naturally kind of gravitated me towards you. And, come to find out, we actually lived 5 minutes from each other. So we really had something to talk about and kind of chopped it up from there. And
That's crazy.
yeah, man, that was my first impression. I'm like, yeah, my brother came dressed to impress. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's I remember walking out the car,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple steps within the parking lot, I realized, this is not it. First off, it was very hot.
Too hot.
And that's okay. Sometimes you sacrifice comfort for,
Right.
But when I'm seeing everybody with like slippers, tank top, shorts, athletic gear, yeah, I'm like, wow. Yeah, so that was the first and last day you saw me.
You were suited and booted.
Yeah.
Until graduation, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I don't even know if I ever asked you this. So what got you intrigued or interested in becoming a chiropractor?
Yeah, so fast forward before the time you saw me suited and booted, right? Really, to be honest, it was a combination of a couple things. I got put onto the field of chiropractic rather late. So my childhood, I didn't know about chiropractic. High school, I didn't know about chiropractic. It was really when I was about to enter like my junior year of college.
Gotcha.
And a couple things that stood out to me was the way chiropractors treat the body and take a step back, look at it as a whole. Also, the technique aspect, right? The skillfulness of an adjustment as well, something that can be developed and worked on, and it's an art, So you got the mind aspect on how to treat, how to diagnose, how to figure out what's going on, but then it doesn't stop there. There's also the art aspect of it, and so that really gravitated me to it, that I know what to expect in the entirety of what chiropractic really encompasses and how much it can affect the health of an individual. Going into it, no. And so that was an interesting thing. Like, speaking about different subjects and what we learned, was there anything that kind of stood up to you? Because man, we have lots of hours in the books and in the classrooms.
I'll tell you the one thing that I was shocked, and when I went to actually tour before, they didn't even mention this to me. So when they said that we were actually doing a wet lab, they didn't even call it cadaver lab. They said wet lab. So I had no idea what wet lab was. I'm like, wet lab, what are we doing? And come to find out, it was a cadaver lab.
That's one way to find. That's a crazy way to find.
Man, was it? We go in that room and you talk about
just the smell as soon as you open the door, right?
oh my gosh. And I've never seen a dead body before. So to see a dead body and then to see it all open and parts missing and things laying all over the place, I was like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? But it was very eye-opening, but I also enjoyed it because you get to actually see what these organs actually look like as opposed to just pictures or models that you see on a daily basis.
It's like a textbook coming to life.
Yeah.
No, that's something that is was pretty awesome. But it's crazy how we had to learn every ligament, every bone, every muscle, you know, every nerve. Like, remember the brachial plexus?
Oh my god!
It
said like this is that, this is that. Like, bro, they all look the same to me.
It's crazy, you know. So we spent a lot of time,
a lot of time, and no choice. But yeah, that was probably the one thing that I appreciated, but definitely did not expect that going in at all. But I also appreciated that we learned, and see, this was my going in. I was just more so expecting it to be, we're going to be very, very precise on anatomy and physiology because chiropractors deal with the body. Yeah. But we also learn pathology, microbiology, pharmacology, biochemistry. So when we learned all of that, I was neurology. Yeah. So
that was a fun college.
Exactly. So taking all of those into account, yes, that's why we are considered doctors. Just like a medical doctor, they take the same type of courses, take the same type of classes. They just may have more hours in a specific subject than we do. For example, radiology. We have way more hours in radiology than a medical doctor does. And then they have more hours in pharmacology than we do. Based on our specific profession, because we obviously we look at the body more, so we're going to need to see x-rays and know how to read them more, whereas they deal with more pharmaceuticals, so they need to know more about that. So
100%.
Definitely appreciated making sure that we are well-rounded when it comes to being a primary care physician. That's essentially what we can be. So
100%. And a lot of people, it's that port of entry. So if someone comes in, you have to be able to identify, because you don't need to get referred to Cairo. So being able to, there's the need to being able to identify red flags, contraindications, if you need to refer, and then refer to which health professional. So definitely important to have that rounded education.
Yes.
But also they're bringing it back to like the technique aspect of, there's some colleges that you wait to start to palpate and get your hand on spines and adjust and whatnot. But that was something that I appreciated within, specifically at Palmer. Like, we were touching spines from day one. Not adjusting. Not about adjusting.
We know what to adjust.
But it was that, I don't know, you got that a lot. Like, oh, how do you know what to feel and this and that?
That exactly. That's what I get a lot. And it's second nature to us now because we just know.
We've been at it for a while.
Right. But it started from day one from school. Like you said, we're putting hands on people from the first quarter so that we can build those tactile skills, so that we know exactly what we're feeling for. So when it comes time to adjust, we know where to adjust, when to adjust, and how to adjust that area. So definitely appreciated getting hands on immediately so we can build those skills. One thing though I will say, I wish that we would have had more, I guess if they would have taken more time to educate us about, is the business side of things.
Gosh.
I know. But I think if if I had any type of recommendation for improving the curriculum, it would to be incorporate more business classes, because do they teach you how to be a great doctor or all the necessary information to be a doctor? Yes, 100%. But the goal is to open up your own practice, right?
So yes, but not for everybody.
No,
You
not
know
for,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
okay,
So
I'll
it's like,
take
that's
that.
why like sometimes I get why there's not, you know, yes, I think what would be dope if they was have like elective courses where
Okay,
you can pick and choose,
Right.
you know, just like how there's like certain techniques, like clubs, but,
Yes.
you know, but like
Yes.
there was, you know, either a club or like a course or like elective set of courses where they can go in depth with their, you know, businesses.
Yeah.
So people that don't want to associate or, you know, work in different areas, and they want to go ahead and open up, it could be a lot more guided information, you know what I mean?
Right. No, that makes sense. I agree with that. Yeah. So I just wish they had something like that.
Oh yeah.
So like if you want to open up your own practice, especially if you're looking to open up your own practice as soon as you graduate, you feel somewhat confident and knowledgeable on how to do it correctly.
Yeah.
And not blindly just going into this and having to seek outside help to try to help you, you know, on the business side of things.
And I kind of, you know, with NuWave, like that right there, you know, obviously being the first doctor in our families, and then also like having like the first ones that have a brick and mortar in a business to like this magnitude, not having that direction, like literally learning as we go and learning in the fire, but you know, the development of like what created NuWave, that would have definitely been helpful. Like,
oh, 1,000%.
yeah, 100%, you know. But one thing I do look back and, you know, I do remember us really seeing eye to eye on what we want to achieve with like NuWave, you know, how we treat the body, how we look at the body, how it's not just the adjustment. There's other factors that play a role in optimal health, you know, and then, you know, just, you know, our vibes, our personalities, you know, it kind of mesh. I remember we were coming back from like a conference or something, man, and we were gonna do like soul chiropractic, right? That's not my
it was soul chiropractic,
but it was just like we was just really just brainstorming of, you know, what can we do to relay and educate like our perspective on health, and like how that integrates with chiropractic, nutrition, you know, lifestyle changes, functional medicine, internal health, you know what I mean? And it's just like, man, we just really trying to do a new way, like, you know, like a new thing, you know?
And that's how it started. Like
Exactly.
you those sentiments right there is exactly, if I'm not mistaken, what you said. You know, trying to find a new way, and that's when I was like, bro, that's it.
That's it, yeah. And it clicked, and it just embodies, you know, what we're trying to do. And so, it started in the cadaver lab. It started in the, you know, the biochem classes, the neurology classes, really understanding the body, and then our life experience, understanding like, you know, people are suffering, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes one way is not the best way, or it's not, it just doesn't take one thing, you know, it's really taking a step back. Let's combine different approaches to, you know, get their health to where it needs to be, you know? So that right there, in those moments, like NuWave always existed, but then we put a name to it, and then it was like, wow, you know.
And then the conflict was, do we use chiropractic or do we use like health and wellness? And remember that, and we kind of settled on, you know, health and wellness, because to your point, it's not just one component to the health. You know,
Yeah.
it's all those different factors from, you know, internally, your mind, all
Yeah.
of those things play a factor into your health. So
Yeah, and chiropractic is at the core, the foundation,
Right.
but it, you know, everything plays a role. Like,
Mhm.
you know, we gotta like food, right?
Right.
What you consume, what you're eating,
right,
right? You're a huge advocate on that, and
that I am.
you know, it's just like you can't be naive or just, you know, say,
Right.
I'm not even gonna address that, or
Right.
I'm not even gonna think about that aspect,
Right.
you know, and just I'm just gonna get adjusted. Yeah,
Right.
you might get some benefits, and you know your health may, but you really want to take things to the next level. You got to start to take a step back and look at the different areas.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
You know, and thinking of that, that's something, because I know you're huge on the functional medicine aspect, the nutrition. You know, was that something that like you were interested before chiropractic, or like that interest kind of developed while you were kind of learning about what chiropractic was?
Yeah, so I would say I've always had I always gravitated towards a healthy lifestyle. So being an athlete, you know, working out, you know, eating healthy, with those in quotations, 'cause back then, yeah.
But you think it's healthy,
Exactly.
it's not really healthy. Yeah.
So, and exercise and all of those things, I enjoyed that. And it wasn't until I think midway through chiropractic school when I realized that it's got to be more to someone being as healthy as they can be. So not just the chiropractic side, so not just the musculoskeletal, you know, adjusting and all that things. That's a big part of it. But also we gotta look at making sure, you know, the different systems are working properly too, and then what could affect those different systems. And that's where we really kind of dive into the nutrition. And that's kind of where I found out about the DAPSI program, and we went through that program, and it really opened up my mind more to the possibilities that we have as chiropractors, as well as different things that could attribute to different types of illnesses that people experience on a regular basis.
Especially like chronic illness.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say it was probably around that time when I started to realize that it's more, but yeah, it was chiropractic in general that led me to learning more about. Exactly, the doors kept opening as we kind of got through, you know, the program. So yeah, I'm still learning a lot, man. It's great.
You gotta school, you never school. Always learning. Might as well always teaching. Yeah, it's more life, man. Well, that's a wrap. I gotta go. So, stay tuned. I'm Dr. Desrosiers.
Dr. Brown.
This is NuWave TV.
Yes, sir.